In this demonstration, the focus is going to be on S3 object encryption using the CLI. But first, let's start here in the console. I'm already in the S3 buckets console where I've got the Projects East bucket filtered. If I click to open up that bucket, one of the things I can do is go under its properties and scroll down to default encryption. Now, default encryption is currently set to enabled. Okay, so let's examine the behavior of that when we upload content using the CLI. Here on my on-premises computer, I've got the CLI installed and running. I've already run AWS configure to authenticate to my account, but I'll just go ahead and do it again and accept the defaults. What I want to do is run AWS S3CP for copy. I have a file called project_d.txt, and I want to upload that to s3://projects-east. Okay, and that's it. It's been uploaded, but let's go take a look at project d.txt and its encryption state. So back here in the console, I'm going to go to Objects. I'll just make sure I'm refreshed. There's project d.txt. If I open it up to view its properties, and if I scroll down to server-side encryption settings, notice indeed that it is enabled. And it's encrypted using Amazon S3 managed keys. Okay, so the bucket default encryption flag is set, so therefore things I upload into the bucket are encrypted. Makes sense. But let's go back into our buckets properties, and let's turn off that encryption. So I'm going to click the Edit button in the default encryption section, and I'm going to disable server-side encryption and save the changes. Back in my command prompt, in the CLI on my local on-premises machine, I'm going to use the up arrow key to bring up that previous command, except I'll change the local file name I want to upload or copy to project_e.txt, which I know exists in the /temp folder. Okay, it's been uploaded. Let's examine its properties in the console. So back here in the console, I'll go back to Objects, I'll refresh. We've got Project E shown here. If I click to open it up, scroll down in its properties, the server-side encryption settings for this file, Project D, are showing as being disabled. So default encryption is disabled. Yet if I go back to Project D.txt and scroll down in its properties, server-side encryption is enabled. So what we want to do is enable encryption for the Project E file using the CLI. The way we do that is we basically copy it, even using the same name because it's already in the bucket, but we enable server-side encryption. Here's how. What I would do is I would run AWS S3CP copy, but we're not copying something locally. It's already up there in the bucket. S3:// projects-east is the name of the bucket, the file is called project_e.txt. I'm going to copy it onto itself. So I'll specify the same bucket. I'll keep the same file name. But what I will do is add --SSE as a parameter, that's server-side encryption. And of course, we're going to use AES 256-bit encryption. So I'll put AES 256 and I'll press enter. Okay, it's copied it onto itself, but with encryption enabled. Let's check our work on the console. So I'm just going to need to make sure I refresh this. So I'll go back to Projects East. I'll just refresh from this level. We're looking at the objects in that bucket. I'll go to Project E, which previously was not encrypted. And now down under server-side encryption settings, it's enabled. Okay, so back in the bucket properties, default encryption is still disabled. Now that's fine for objects already in the bucket. What about doing it all at once while we upload or copy to the bucket initially? That way we don't have to go through two different steps to make encryption happen. Of course we can do that. We would do AWS S3CP copy. So I've got a local file here called project_f.txt. I want to upload that to S3:// projects-east, just directly in the root of that bucket. And then I'll just add --SSE AES 256, and I'll press enter. If we go back here in the console to Objects, just do a little refresh here, of course, and go all the way down to Project F, Take a look at its encryption setting. Notice it's enabled.